Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Michael Filios, founder and CEO of IT Ally and a CDO editorial board member. And we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Jen Bachner, Director of Data Analytics and Policy from Johns Hopkins University. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm wondering if you can share a little bit about your perspectives and how we can, prepare these students to start thinking about a career in data analytics in this capacity.
Yeah, it's really great that in many school districts, there's been an expansion in STEM offerings for middle and high schoolers, particularly in the area of analytics and areas related to analytics. Many middle and high schools now provide opportunities for students to learn programming and data science skills, and this is wonderful. And while I think these types of courses are great, and I certainly encourage interested students to take them, I want to take this opportunity to highlight the value of traditional math courses as well, particularly as they relate to data science. The areas of math that are the building blocks of statistics include functions, linear algebra, calculus, and probability theory. So my recommendation for students who want to pursue a degree or a career in data science is to use their time in middle school and high school and even college to develop a firm understanding of these core areas of mathematics. They are the foundation of statistical methods, but they're usually brushed over quite quickly in statistics courses owing to time constraints. In most social science PhD programs, incoming students participate in a 2-week math boot camp just to get students up to speed on these topics. So possessing a strong foundation in these core areas of math helps analysts develop better intuition for how the statistical methods they're using actually work. As an example, analysts will run a regression model in Stata or in R, but they often don't have an understanding of how the software program generated the findings. But if you understand calculus, probability theory, and linear algebra, you'll have some understanding of what Stata or R or any other statistical program did in order to generate the results that you see on the screen. So I really encourage middle and high schoolers to take advantage of the time they have to learn foundational math, and that will prepare them to be strong users of analytical methods.
Okay, excellent advice. Thank you for that. So wrapping up our conversation today, and you alluded to this earlier, that this is not a technology for technology's sake play here, but although technology plays a significant role in how data and analytics have emerged within organizations as an asset, both in private and public sectors, to prepare and grow, for their future. So I'm wondering if you can share a little bit more about some of the tools that you are utilizing and which ones are coming into play further to help develop and advance this curriculum and the services and the type of work that you do.
You're right. There's been so much innovation in the area of analytics and a lot of value to be obtained. There are, of course, issues surrounding privacy and security that need much more attention from scholars and policymakers and regulators as this technology continues to evolve, but certainly many examples of analytics being used for good. At Johns Hopkins, we've partnered with REI Systems to host a government analytics breakfast forum. This is a forum that brings together students and professionals in government and industry to discuss how the public sector can use analytics to tackle policy and governance challenges. And we've had some amazing speakers over the years, many of whom have served in CDO and CIO positions at their organizations. And they've shared some insightful examples of how analytical tools have helped them better serve their organization's customers. We had one speaker from the Federal Communications Commission, for example, who described how the organization uses text analysis to analyze literally millions of comments that they receive about proposed rules. As I said, agencies are by law required to publish summaries of these comments, and text analysis has been critical to doing this in a systematic manner. These tools, for example, have allowed the FCC to identify the most common topics that are mentioned by commenters and also to summarize the sentiments expressed about these topics quantitatively. The Securities and Exchange Commission also uses text analysis to scan company filings to identify potentially fraudulent behavior. The SEC has used these methods to detect documents that appear to be outliers, perhaps because of their writing style or tone, and they can then perform a more in-depth review of any flagged documents. At the Library of Congress, we've seen analysts studying patron data for the purpose of developing a modernization strategy to help the organization better meet the needs of its users. They've gathered and analyzed data on patrons' comfort with different types of technology. They've looked at patrons' interest in different library materials and their satisfaction with the services that they've used. This information will inform performance improvement measures that the library plans to take in the future. And at the Health Resources and Services Administration, which does a lot of grant making, analysts are using predictive methods to help identify which health centers are most at risk of compliance issues and thus might most benefit from early intervention by the agency. As a final example, the speaker at our upcoming June Government Analytics Breakfast Forum will discuss how FEMA is using analytics. And one idea that analysts have been discussing is whether it's possible to use analytics to predict who will need assistance in an emergency, which will position the agency to act more proactively rather than reactively in a crisis. This approach has not currently been implemented, but a good predictive modeling system that could deliver aid exactly where it's needed ahead of a disaster would be pretty amazing and might just be possible.
It is truly amazing, and I'm excited for the future and what the future holds, and how we can leverage these capabilities further for good, and for some of the use cases you provided, which are somewhat mind-blowing, but I think very realistic at the same time. So Jen, I want to thank you on behalf of CDO Magazine for joining us today. I've certainly learned a lot, and appreciate your time and insights on this particular topic. And for others that want to learn more about CDO Magazine or to view more interviews, please visit cdomagazine.tech. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.